right, this is going to be the topic of the discussion, which is the nightmare of terror at the Villisca Axe Murder House that Wendy and I have had to endure. It was frightening. Let me just start out with that. There is a lot of wind out here, so we expected to hear that throughout the house. We expected our typical noises that we can't explain, old creaking house type feelings, emotion feelings, but I don't think either one of us were quite as prepared for this as we thought we would be. And what that was sheer terror. So to start out the night, we had our tour, and it went very smooth.
Very brief.
It was very brief. It was short and sweet, and the house felt like a regular...
Oh, I was trying to figure out what that window was because I thought we turned those lights off. It's his office, though. Remember?
Yeah, you said that already.
Yeah, I just forgot. And so I was like, I was just wondering, I thought I turned that light off, so I'm like counting windows. Okay.
So we did the tour of the house. Every room we went in, we experienced it, and we sent our wonderful, awesome tour guide on his way home for the evening. I also want to say that he was wonderful for staying an extra hour and a half for us because we were an hour and a half late meeting him, but everything seemed super normal, fine, fantastic. We start to try and record our opening session, and Wendy's phone freaks out, just starts wigging out, going crazy. She took 20 minutes to try and fix it, maybe not 20 minutes, but it seemed like it, and the phone just gave up, whatever. So we went into the house without doing our opening. We get into the house and she's still working on her phone, but she gives up and she moves on to another piece of equipment so that we can do our opening. And while I'm doing the opening, the screen door opens up like somebody ripped it open, and it doesn't slam shut.
I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at you.
It hangs open for like a year. It hangs open for centuries. No, it felt like it. It opened up for like a minute, maybe tops, and then just slowly shut. And that really set our night off bad.
Because we were expecting to see like that the tour guide had come back.
And there was nobody there. So then we're on edge. Now we start hearing voices. We start hearing creaks. We decide to go on with our investigation. We tried to play on the piano. We moved into the Stillinger girls' room, but that was late, actually. We had decided to start upstairs. Right. Well, anyways, we were in the Stillinger girls' room. I mean, and this is after we had been in the living room for a while, and, you know, we were just hearing very brief noises, nothing to really spark any kind of intrigue or mystery. And so we decided to move into the Stillinger girls' room, and we almost broke the bed by sitting on it. And so we did the spirit box, which I have to say, neither one of us are really sure that it was actually working properly. We got a man's voice right away, and it was his voice throughout the whole time speaking to us, and then there was a man and a woman. We ended up cutting it off because
we couldn't hear what they were saying or make out what they were saying.
Right.
But it was the same voice.
Right. We would ask a question, we would get a man's voice. We would ask a question, we would get a man's voice. It wasn't extremely clear, so we cut it off and we sat there and we talked for a while, and then it got dead quiet, like weird, eerie. And then you started hearing noises in the kitchen as if someone had just came home and they were kind of shuffling around things.
It was loud.
Yeah, it was
getting
creepy.
Louder too. Like, I mean, it started off kind of like, oh, that sounded like a footstep.
Right.
Oh, that's a creak for sure. That's definitely in this house.
Right.
And then it was like, that's loud. And you wanted to go see what it was, but I said, let's wait and see, you know.
Yeah, if it
comes closer to us or whatever. But then we go to get up to meet it, And tell them what happened, Chris.
We go into the
end
kitchen.
Of the world.
It was the end of the world. I didn't even mention the landslide of people driving by. I guess onslaught was probably the better word for me to use there, but people keep driving by and stopping in front of this house and really giving us like the heebie-jeebies, because we're like, what are these people doing? They were taking pictures of the house. Some of them are just hanging out. There's just a lot of kind of weird things happening that are keeping us kind of on edge. So we go into the kitchen to sort of meet this entity. What is he doing? See what's going on. Maybe start an investigation in there. And all of a sudden, the door, boom, just busts open again. And we're like dead still.
Did you hear a man's voice before that or after it?
It was before that. I forgot about that.
You said, I heard a man's voice. Goes, do you hear that? I didn't hear it. You said, I hear a man's voice. And then bam, that motherfucking door opened up and nobody was there.
Nobody was there.
And then as we just stared at it, it didn't take as long as the first time.
No.
It just slowly closed. It didn't slam shut.
It was like, gotcha. That's what it felt like. And it
wasn't like a creak back close. No. Like it stayed open for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and then it slowly closes back.
Yeah. It was so unnerving that we were left like shaking. I just heard, and here's the thing, I heard the man's voice. I had just taken my headphones out because I was using my digital recorder, and I had just taken my headphones out, and I heard a man's voice, and I'm pretty sure it was coming through my headphones. And I said to Wendy, did you hear that? It was a man's voice. And I mean, she's looking at me, she's holding her camera facing the door, and boom, it just opens just like that. And it freaked us out. We didn't get killed, because here I am telling you the story, but it was enough to make me shake for a long time. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it the first time. Sure as hell didn't expect it the second time. And here's the kicker. We decided to take another long break.
Let me explain this one, because you're missing a key step. Hold on. I'm going to cut it.
Now it's the red light.
So what Chris didn't tell you from the very beginning, which is fine. I love the way the story was told. And then I get to tell you this part. Right now, because it's blurry.
It's blurry.
It's okay. It'll go in and out unless I'm moving too much.
Stop moving.
Okay. We are filming right now from the fucking car. So we were incredibly shaken. We wanted to see what was in the kitchen, and we had investigated the living room and the guest room where the girls rested, and the neighbor girls, and then we were going to go to the kitchen and see what the noise was, and then the plan was to move upstairs. We couldn't do anything after the door opened. We just stood there staring at it, watching it, thinking we were locked in, because we thought we could never open the door again. And finally worked up the courage to open the door by looking out the window a whole lot. You saw another car drive by of people that were just hanging out. They weren't even looking at this house. They were just in the neighborhood. And I saw a giant Siberian tiger walking the street. It was a huge cat. And so some of those normal kind of normal things, as normal as Siberian cats in Iowa in the neighborhood of Villisca is normal. We were like, okay, we're gonna open the door. We would only feel better if we could open the door. Well, then we went out the door, and then we didn't want to go back in the door.
No.
And so it became big fear to we were like, we need to reset, so we need to eat. Well, the little barn that they have that you can go and rest and keep your drinks and stuff in, it's all glass windows in the front that you, because it's so dark, can't see out and see what's going on outside. But with the lights on, everybody can see what you're doing inside. So then it just got like overwhelming that we thought, we had seen those guys out by their car earlier and people keep stopping by.
Well, not to mention we heard noises in the barn too.
Oh yeah. We come in, that was before though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, before, when we were taking a little break in between like our first walk through and then when we came back and this was our second time leaving, we were taking a break and there was a noise from the attic-ish area, the loft area at the top, and nobody's in the building. And yes, it's windy, it's a barn-like structure, so now we kind of feel like it could be doors rattling and the breakers or whatever they call it, rafters up in the barn. But with the noise going on, we didn't want to go too far in. Then we felt like everybody could see us right in the front, and we were like we had nowhere to kind of regroup and feel better. So our very nice Kia Sorento
Luxury
rental that we have very much enjoyed this weekend, it just feels like home.
Right.
So
it's so much softer too to sleep on this or whatever we're
than
going
that bed that we were gonna break.
Yes.
For sure. So
In fear.
we retreated to the car for about an hour, watching the door actually.
Right.
Obsessing about this door, and not once, and even after gusts of winds that we saw that were big, we could hear them blow on the car, They did not blow that door open.
The windows are old and the wind is blowing into the house through the windows, and you can see the curtains move.
Yeah, because we could feel cold air coming in.
But the door never once blew open. Not one time.
It has a crack that's about this big maybe, and gets this big, and then gets this small, but it's never slamming, never making a noise, and it's not even since now.
It's not.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that we did lock it. So we regrouped, ate some more food because we didn't eat our dinner before then, and then we came up with a plan.
Yes, we did. We knocked it out of the park.
So
we did.
Hold on, and Chris will tell you our plan. I just fucked it out.
That's hard. All right, so our plan was kick-ass, and honestly, I still was nervous getting out of the car at that time. My legs were still shaking. We decided we're going to go ahead.
My butt cheeks were shaking.
Yeah, I know.
Is that possible?
It was just too much all at once. It was just too much all at once. The noises, the man's voice, the door before that. Anyways,
the house is just very unsettling too.
It is.
We said that when we walked through and it was still daytime.
Right.
We came out and said it just feels odd in there.
Yeah, it's odd. That's eerie. It's probably the best way to describe it. And another thing is you have to keep locking the doors, which is strange for us, and it's also kind of like locking yourself in. And when you're in the back part of the house, when you're doing an investigation, or if you're upstairs, it's like you're trapped. You can't go anywhere. There's nowhere for you to go. So anyways, we came up with this kick-ass plan. We have a camera upstairs with an infrared band and an infrared detachable light facing the closet that apparently has creepy, eerie feelings. Everybody gets a really bad sensation. There is a ball, there is a motion sensor light, and a checkerboard covered in baby powder. So if anything is going to touch that board, well, hopefully we will see, because the baby powder will be messed with or touched on, or something will have happened. And I have the motion sensor light, which should come on and go off as things appear and disappear. So that's good. That's set up. We got that room covered, I think, pretty good. And the room right adjacent, the parents' room, we have a recorder in it. So the camera, the IR camera, has a speaker, so it'll pick up whatever it can there, but we also have a recorder going in the parents' bedroom on the bed, so hopefully they will kind of mingle with each other. We didn't have the attic.
Or not.
Right,
and
or
that
not.
would definitely stand out to whether it's a sound within the house,
right,
or a paranormal sound, because it only speaks to one device.
And we turned the air conditioner off. We decided to not put anything in the attic. Personally, Neither one of us feel very comfortable in the attic.
Because the floor.
Very, I don't know, dangerous, kind of. I mean, you just feel like you could fall through. There's nails kind of sticking through from where the shingles were. It's just not, we were already kind of panicked. I don't really think it was a good idea for us to go in there, so we just left that one out of the plans.
I have to let them know if anybody ever wants to come to this house, it's dark.
Oh yeah, there's no lights.
They have shades in every window that block out all the light. And then upstairs is a small, like even the kids' bedrooms and the parents' bedrooms. It's not an attic space, but the windows in the parents' room, they're very small or something. They don't let in a lot of...
It's very small.
It's dark out here.
Yeah, it's pitch black in there. Like, you cannot see anything. It's completely different than anything we've ever done.
So the basement, I mean the attic, sorry, not basement. The attic didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
In the dark and with the floors. I'm pretty sure we'd be crawling on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, we were already kind of panicked. We didn't want to be crawling around panicked. So we made our way back downstairs. We stuck another audio recording device with our doll that has a music box in it on top of the Stillinger girl's bed.
I meant to play that music box though.
Well, we had played it before when we were trying to do an EVP session.
I thought we'd turn it on before we leave, but it would have been playing while we were trying to set up the camera too.
Did you somehow turn off the black light bulb that was on that barn?
No, it goes on and off or something. I don't know how it turns on.
Okay. So then Wendy wanted to set up her night vision camera with the light facing the kitchen area where we keep having problems. We keep hearing noises. Also, there's somehow these very, very heavy...
That was my stomach.
Well, these very, very heavy irons are being lifted up off the stove and placed on the floor. So we've got that room covered. We didn't really feel like there was much going on in the living room, so that's pretty much the only area, aside from the attic, that really isn't documented right now. But the good news is, for the investigation after midnight, there's not going to be any of Wendy and Chris contamination because we're not in there walking around. We're not coughing, making belly gurgling noises.
Right.
We're just sitting in the car because honestly, we really can't handle it anymore. That place is
It's about
freaky.
1 o'clock too.
It's 1
Not
o'clock.
3. I think it was midnight when we decided.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Let's go back in there
And get everything
knock
started.
it out. And yeah. So that's our night so far.
That's it. Now we're going to try and take it easy in our luxurious vehicle. And in the morning, we're going to go in and collect our evidence and review at some point. But I think our biggest concern at this point is that none of our gear is just totally trashed by whatever is in that house. We kind of felt like we weren't wanted. It was that kind of a feeling.
When that door swung open, it was like, it's time for you to leave.
Yeah. That's what it was like. Get out.
That's what it felt like.
Goodbye. Good day, sir. Please leave. Without saying please. Actually, it was like, get the fuck out. So we did. And I think we're pretty happy about that. We had a hardcore 3 days worth of investigation this weekend, and this was, like I was telling Wendy earlier, the cherry on top of the cheesecake. It just turned out to be a sour piece of cheesecake, and the cherry is more like a prune.
It's disgusting.
It's just
watch from here.
not something that we're interested in, not one bit.
No, technically we are still investigating. I see my light on.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. We're not leaving.
Right.
But we're not going back in there.
Nope, not until it's daylight.
Until the sun comes up.
Right.
So, good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you in your investigation here at Villisca Axe Murder House, because it really will stand up to its reputation, I guarantee that.